Hello everyone, my name is Harshvardhan Mahesh Patil. Today I am presenting ISC topic manufacturing process of spare gear related to our subject manufacturing process and machine tools. For this manufacturing process of spare gear, selection of material is important. The first thing while manufacturing anything is the selection of the material from which we will manufacture the specified things. Similarly, is the case with spare gear. The type of material used depend on the process, purpose for which the gear will be used. Some commonly used material for manufacturing of spare gear are cast iron, stainless steel. For specifically spare gear, mild steel is used for the process. Following characteristics for the selection of material for the spare gears are high tensile strength to prevent failure against static load. Second one is higher endurance strength to withstand dynamic loads. Third one is low coefficient of friction. Methodology for manufacturing process of spare gear. First one is gathering of raw material. After the selection of the material, the next step is gather the raw material from which the spare gears is to be manufactured. Raw material can be gathered from different manufacturers or material suppliers. Second step is casting. Casting is a manufacturing process in which a liquid material is usually poured into a mold which contain a hollow cavity of the desired shape and then allowed to solidify. The solidified part is known as casting, which is ejected to broken out of the mold to complete the process. If the raw material is not available in cylindrical form, raw material gathered will be casted in the form of a cylindrical. Second step is sawing. Sawing is a process where in a narrow slit is cut into the workpiece by a tool consisting of a series of narrowly spaced teeth called a saw blade. Sawing is used to separate the work parts into two or more pieces or cut off unwanted parts. Typically, the material used for the making of saw are high speed steel, carbon steel, high speed edge or tungsten carbide tipped blades. Carbon blade steels are chosen as the material for the saw blade because of its generally utility for a small lot or low cost. The raw material brought from this supplies will be cut into specified numbers of parts. Next one is turning process. Turning is a cutting process in which a single point cutting tool removes the metal from a rotating workpiece to generate a cylinder. Turning operation is performed on a machine tool called lathe. Various types of turning operation can be performed such as facing, countering, chamfering and threading. Conventional turning will be applied to the parts in which the tool is fed longitudinally at a center depth of cut to reduce the diameter of the stock. The outer diameter of the stock turning would be 600 mm. Next process is pocket milling. Pocket milling is a machine operation in which the workpiece is feeded part past a rotating tool with multiple cutting edges. Cutting tool is called as milling cutter. Typically, two types of milling operation exist, that is face and peripheral milling. In face milling, the cutter axis is perpendicular to the surface being milled, whereas in a milling, the cutter axis is parallel to the surface. Pocket milling is a type of end milling whereas which is used to create shallow pocket in a flat surface. Pocket milling will be used to create shallow circular pocket of 5 mm on each surface of the stock leaving a thickness. Next is drilling operation. Drilling operation is used to create a round hole in a workpiece. Cutting tool for drilling operation is called as drill bit and machine tool is called as drill press. Drill bit comes in a various sizes in order to create holes of different sizes. Two types of drilling hole exist, that is through holes and blind holes. Through holes are ones in which drill exists opposite side to the workpiece. In project after the pocket milling, drilling operation will be used to cut 8 holes or 8 holes of 6 mm, 8 holes of 50 mm, and one hole of 12 mm in the center. Next process is done is hobbing. Hobbing is a machining process for uh, gear cutting sprockets on a hobbing machine. It is a special type of milling machine. The teeth of the gear are progressively cut into material by a series of cut and made by a cutting tool called a hub. It is the most widely used gear cutting process for cutting spur and helical gears. Is being produced, then the angle must be increased by the same amount of helical angle of the helical gear. Compared to the other gears, forming process hobbing is quick, inexpensive, and quite accurate. Thus, it is used for a broad range of parts and quantities. After the drilling, hobbing operation will be applied to the stock of generate spare gears with a vertical length of 6 mm. Next is gear broaching. Broaching is a machining process that used a two-threaded tool called a broach. There are two types of broaching, linear and rotary. Broaching can be used to generate externally as well as internally gears. In this project, we will use gear broaching to generate internal gear with 34 teeth in the workpiece after the hobbing process. This is the concept of manufacturing spare gears. This is the flow chart which describes the manufacturing process. First of all, we do selection of material. Second is gather raw material. Third one is sawing for cutting workpiece of given thickness. Fourth process is drilling for creating holes. Fifth process is pocket milling for creating step in a workpiece. Sixth step is turning for a diameter reduction. Seventh step is hobbing for generating external gear or internal gear. And last one is broaching for generating internal gear. That's it. Thank you.